Hello, I'm Coach Manuel. In this course, I'll be teaching you how to set up anonymity in Kali. Let's get started. Before I walk you through the step-by-step procedure on how to set up or how to remain anonymous in Kali, I would like to let you know few things. The first is going to be on how the network works. Basically, if you look at my screen right now, you see right here you can see the IP, the DNS, and as well VPN. And what does this mean? The IP means the Internet Protocol. I will explain this with the diagram that you have here. Suppose you are at home and all your devices, your phone, your laptop, or your computer are connected to a router. So right here you can see this is a router and your device sends a request to get response from the internet via the router. The router has its own IP address right here. But this IP is going to be determined by your parent network. Your device will have its own local IP as well. As you can see, for this mobile phone, the local IP is 10.0.2.15. But it is showing another IP right here. Now, this is going to be the public IP address that the router assigned to this device from its own parent IP. Now, this IP is actually uh, generated via the network provider, and that is going to make up the domain name server. So you can see now that this device is going to have a public IP address which is going to be visible. But this is the major IP you want to hide when you are surfing the net. So how does the network work? Your device sends a request to the router, and the router as well send the request to the internet. The internet send response back to the router, and the router deliver the response to your device. The way the hackers work is to make sure they gain access to have your public IP. So the moment they get access to your public IP address, they can easily attack your system or your phone, your laptop, or your computer. So you want to make sure that you keep your IP address, especially the public IP address, safe and personal to you, because if this is exposed, your device can be hacked. And this is what the hackers look out for when they want to as well try to create anonymity while using Kali. This is going to prevent them being traced to a particular location wherever they are connected to a network. So the domain name server, the VPN, they both work together to determine the IP address of your device. Basically, we'll be considering the public IP address. So how does the VPN and the DNS affect the IP address? Like I said, we have the DNS, which is the domain name server, or otherwise called the domain name system. It is actually integrated with your hosting provider, basically with your domain name. So if you see any domain name, for example, if you have google.com, so google.com is actually alphabetical in nature. The domain name server will help your browser to convert the google.com into its own unique IP. We're going to look at the maybe a few IP address of few of the website when you connect your device to the internet. Okay, so the VPN and the DNS play a crucial role in trying to maintain your anonymity in Kali. So if you want to make sure you maintain anonymity in Kali, you want to make sure that you change your DNS server and also use a VPN to change your public IP. Sometimes when you change the DNS server, it doesn't integrate immediately until you introduce a VPN. VPN means virtual private network. So the VPN will help you in changing your public IP, which can be linked to whichever location you currently in. Like I said earlier, when you're performing anonymity in Kali, you want to stay anonymous online, you want to make sure that you change your public IP address. Another thing that play a crucial role in achieving this anonymity is the WebRTC. The WebRTC as well, which is always present in your browser, can leak your DNS, which is a risk, especially when you can leak your IP address, can leak your DNS when you are only using the VPN. So you want to make sure that you change your DNS server and as well introduce a VPN. So we'll be introducing the VPN via the VPN book to alter our public IP. Like I said, the public IP is going to display exact location of your device, and this is what you want to change to stay anonymous online. So let's get started to the real process. So I'll enter into my Kali machine and I'm going to just enter my password. Okay, so right now I'm inside Kali, and the very first thing I want to do is to change my DNS server. So I already listed the various steps you need right here, though I'm going to just walk you through one step at a time. Okay, so the right here. So first thing we're going to do is to change the DNS server. Okay, so let me go back to my Kali machine. So I'm going to run the terminal. So the first thing you want to check is you want to check your DNS server in Kali. You need to first check your DNS server in Kali. And how do you do that? You have to run the command cat slash etc resolve .conf. Sorry about that. It should be cat slash etc resolve .conf. You have to take note of the spelling. Okay, right now you can see my name server is 172.20.10.1, and I have to make sure I alter this before I can maintain my anonymity. First thing I want to do is to go into my Firefox and show you from here. I'll show you my own public IP address before performing the anonymity, and then I'm going to show you after doing the process successfully. So I'm going to just go and type what is my IP. All right, so you can see this is my public IP address for now. So if you like, you can just take note of this IP address. So we're going to check later on after performing the anonymity test. And also we're going to check another website to display our current IP and location. So I'm going to use this dnsleaktest.com. All right, so currently I am in Ibadan, Nigeria, as you can see, and this is my public IP address according to my server right now. So this is my IP 102.88.37.17 from Ibadan, Nigeria. So currently this is my IP address. So I'm going to perform the anonymity test and hide this. I want to change this location to a different location, and to do that you need to alter various things. The first is going to be to change the DNS server, and also to use a VPN to change your public IP address. So we'll be using the VPN book for the purpose of this anonymity process. I'm going to just close these tabs. Probably I'll leave the other one and go back to my terminal. So like I said earlier on, that I'm going to show you how to check for IP address of various websites. So if you want to do that, you can just type the command ifconfig, and you can put the particular web address, be it, for example, you may want to check the IP of google.com. So you just type ping google.com and hit enter. So now you can see it is going to start pinging google.com, and you can see this is the IP address for google.com. So even website has its own IP. So anytime you want to stop the process, you can just press Ctrl C on your keyboard and it's going to just stop the process. Though some websites do not permit you to ping their web address, so you may not be able to see their public IP address. So this may not work for some websites. But for most websites, we can get their IP address via this method. So you just run the command ping, then space. You can type maybe facebook.com, and by the time we ping facebook.com, you can see it's going to generate the IP address of that domain. And this was going to be what the browser is going to interpret via your domain name server whenever you input facebook.com into your browser. So that is how the DNS work. So the facebook.com is alphabetical in nature. I talked about that earlier. So your DNS server will help you to change it to this particular type of an IP address, which is going to now be sent to the internet. Then the details of that website will be received on your browser. Okay, so that is about that. So I'm going to just clear all of these lines of code, and now I'm going to run the command for the um, cat command again to check my current DNS server. So that's cat etc resolve.conf, and now this is my current DNS name server. So the next thing is to make sure to edit the configuration file for the DHC client to change this particular name server. So how do we do that? You have to type the nano command. So we use the nano command to edit files. So you type the nano etc resolve.conf. So right here, we can edit this particular name server, but we have an issue here. It's showing that file etc resolve.conf is unwritable, so we cannot write on this file, so we can edit it. Okay, so I'm going to just exit this by pressing Ctrl X to exit that, and for me to be able to edit this, I need to use a command to grant access to the admin for editing. So I'm going to just type sudo before the previous command, nano etc resolve.conf, then hit enter. Now it's going to ask for my password, so I'm going to enter my Kali password. All right, good. So now you can see that I can edit my name servers. So to easily do that, you can get few name servers from your browser. Just type free open DNS. I can see few ones here already, like the Cloudflare 1.1.1, the Google 8.8.8. These are common name server. I would advise you use like two or three name server so that if one does not work fine, it can fall to the other. Don't forget, we are trying to alter, we're trying to change the current name server to another one entirely. This particular website is a very good one. You can use livewire.com. And right here, I have few name servers. This one, they are tested and trusted, the Google DNS and Cloudflare DNS. So I'm going to use 8.8.8 and 1.1.1. So I'm going to go back to my terminal and I'm going to just edit this. So I'm just holding my shift key, then delete. Okay, so I'm going to type the current name server I want. I'll use 8.8.8.8. Okay, so I'm going to add additional one to it so that if one does not work, it's going to switch to the other one. So the first one is the Google DNS and the second is for the Cloudflare. So when you're done changing the DNS, you just hit Control O to write out and hit enter on your keyboard. Then you can see row 3 line. So that is done already. You can hit Control X to exit. And you can run the cat command to print your current name server. All right, perfectly. I have successfully changed the name server. And right here, you can see these are my current name servers. Okay, so the next thing I am going to do is I can do the same thing to make sure everything works perfect. I can as well do the same thing I did now with I want to edit another file. I will type the sudo command first before nano, sudo nano, then this is etc dhcp slash dhclient.conf. Okay, so here I'm going to change the name server here as well, though I already did that earlier on. You can see you look out for where you have prepend. Actually, before now, it's going to appear like this, and you have a particular name server there. Say you have just one name server. If, for example, you have, you may have just one name server. Let's say you have just this name server. So you can just edit. Just make sure you remove the hash at the front here. So you delete the hash sign, then you go all the way right here. Make sure you leave the semicolon just that way, and you can edit the name servers. So I'm just doing this, though this one is not compulsory if you have changed the name server earlier over there, but you can just do it right here as well and change it to the same name server. And when you are done right here, just hit Control O to write out and hit enter to save, then Control X to exit the file. So now I've been able to edit that. To double check, you can just cut your etcresolve.com file to check out for your current name servers. All right, good. So we are done with the very first step, which is changing the DNS server. So the next is to set up our VPN. And to set up VPN, we need to first go to our browser. And in the browser, we are going to first disable the WebRTC. So what is the WebRTC? As you can see here, you can see the WebRTC is just what helps our browser for proper communication with the domain. You can see it's an open source project that enables real-time voice, text, video communication between web browser and devices. So the WebRTC provides software development with application programming interface written in JavaScript. So what I'm going to just do is we're going to just disable this WebRTC because it can leak our DNS, our original DNS, and we don't want that. So to do that, we are going to go um, into a particular part of the browser, which is the about config. So the WebRTC is used within your browser when you communicate with a website, like I said earlier on. So we're going to just type the about config. So we have about, it should be colon config. Make sure you are using the Firefox browser in your Kali. So when you type this, it's going to bring a warning. Just accept the warning, and right here you're going to type the this particular text media dot peer connection dot enabled. So now this is what I'm looking for, media dot peer connection dot enabled. So your own will be on true if you have not altered this. So if you double tap, it's going to change to false. So you want to make sure you deactivate it and make it false. So you want it to be this way. Just double tap and make sure it is on false. When you are done, you can just close that up, and that is set already. Then the next thing is we are going to search for the VPN book. Or yeah, let's search for VPN book. So we are going to now set up our virtual private network. So I'm using this first result, and that is vpnbook.com. Don't forget we are going to be using a free VPN. So right here you select open VPN, and you can see that we have a ton of various VPN server for Canada. If you want to change your location to Canada, so you want an IP for Canada, we have for Germany, France, for UK, US, we have for Canada here. For UK, you can just pick any one of your choice. For me, I am going to just select the US server, so I can just download that. So for now, I'll download the US2 server open VPN config bundle. So I'll click on this. So right now you can see I've successfully downloaded the file VPN book open VPN US2, and it's actually a zip file. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way. Let me just close this. I Let me minimize this. My terminal. Okay, let me minimize my terminal and open my file system. go into my download folder. I just want to show you the file I just downloaded. So this is the file I just downloaded, VPN Open VPN US2 zip file. Okay, these other ones I'm going to delete them. Okay, so I have the VPN file. So when you do that, you can download any one of those Open VPN from vpnbook.com. You can just download any one. Okay, so now we have just this. So I'm going to unzip it from my terminal. So first I will need to leave this home directory and enter into the download directory out by typing cd download. Okay, before then, let me just clear the screen and just type cd downloads. And now you have cd downloads, hit enter. And now currently you can see I'm now inside the download directory. So I want to check what file do I have here. So to print the file you have there, to list the file rather, I'll use the ls. So the ls command is going to list the file you have right inside this current directory. Okay, so to unzip this particular file, I have to type the word unzip, then space the exact file name. So let me align this file name. I'll hit Ctrl Shift V, then come right here and press Ctrl Shift C to copy, or just right click and copy selection. Come right here and paste the selection. So I have the selection here, then hit enter. Alright, successfully I have unzipped the files. And if I type the ls command again, so it's going to show me the zip files and also the files that were being unzipped. So we have all of these files with the OVPN extension, and you can see TCP here, you can see UDP here. So they are both internet protocol, though you are going to still understand this later on. Try to just follow my subsequent lecture. I'm going to talk more on this, but for now, just take this as a internet protocol. So you can use any one of these files. So anyone will just work fine. So we are going to use this OVPN for setting up our VPN. So we are going to try to use one. So to do that, we need to type a particular command, and that is open VPN space, then the name of any of these files. I'll pick the first one. Control C. Sorry. Let me just right click and copy. So I'll type the command again, open VPN, and I can type Control Shift V to paste that. So now I have, if you like, you can just type the exact name of the file you want to use. You can see VPN book, US2, TCP 443.ovpn. So now I'm done. Then I'm going to just hit enter. Okay, so it's going to ask for the username and password. And you can go, sorry, I closed that up earlier. I shouldn't have closed the browser. So I'm going to just open up the browser again, and I should be able to get it. So I'll go to vpnbook.com. Okay, so I'll go to open VPN, scroll all the way down, then we have VPN book. That's the username. So I'm going to just copy this, or I can just type it in VPN book, then password is B7D H B7D H4N3. So I'm going to go type that VPN book. then hit enter. So it's going to ask for password. So you can just toggle and say B7D, B7D, H4 and 3, 4 and 3. So hit enter. Okay, so it actually failed. It's showing receive process exiting out failed. Okay, so this process was not successful. All right, so we're going to do something to perfect that. So before the open VPN command, I'll just type the sudo command. I'll type sudo open VPN. Then I'm going to type the file name TCP 443.ovpn. So if you encounter the same error, just make sure you type the sudo command before you launch the VPN. So this should be OUS2. Okay, so US2, yeah, TCP 443 OVPN. Perfect. So I'm going to hit enter, and now I can enter the password again. VPN book. I should get a success message after doing this. B7D, B7D, H4 and 3. Okay, so we're going to get this particular message, this response initialization sequence completed. Once you get this response, then the VPN setup is successful, then your anonymity is set. All right. So you can confirm that by typing the website VP DNS leak. Yeah. So okay, just go to this website dnsleak.com to confirm that. Okay. So all right. So our anonymity setup is successful. As you can see, my IP is changed. So this is my current IP, and this is my location. And that website you can use to check that is this word.net, and you can as well go to Google and type my okay, just type what is my IP. You see that your IP address must have changed right here. All right, so right here you can see DNSLeakTest.com is showing this IP, and word.net is showing this same IP address. And that is perfect. It's just perfect. And right here you can see my IP. And if everything is successfully loaded, now you're going to see it's going to show my location as if I'm in the United States. So it's going to show it right here. So sorry, I think I have a network challenge. All right, so everything is set. You can see it's successfully loaded, and you can see this is the DNS assigned. Location is United States, IP, and you can see your this guys is 100%. So this is 100% safe, and your anonymity is successfully set. All right.